Then the Lord appeared to him, in the steep valley of Mamre, when he was sitting at the door of his tent, in the very heat of the day. And when he had lifted up his eyes, there appeared to him 3 men, standing near him. When he had seen them, he ran to meet them from the door of his tent, and he reverenced them on the ground. And he said, If I, O Lord, have found grace in your eyes, do not pass by your servant. But I will bring a little water, and you may wash your feet and rest under the tree. And I will set out a meal of bread, so that you may strengthen your heart, after this you will pass on. It is for this reason that you have turned aside to your servant. And they said, Do as you have spoken. Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah, and he said to her, Quickly, mix together 3 measures of the finest wheat flour and make loaves baked under the ashes. In truth, he himself ran to the herd, and he took a calf from there, very tender and very good, and he gave it to a servant, who hurried and boiled it. Likewise, he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had boiled, and he placed it before them. Yet truly, he himself stood near them under the tree. And when they had eaten, they said to him, Where is Sarah your wife? He answered, Behold, she is in the tent. And he said to him, When returning, I will come to you at this time, with life as a companion, and your wife Sarah will have a son. Hearing this, Sarah laughed behind the door of the tent. Now they were both old, and in an advanced state of life, and it had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. And she laughed secretly, saying, After I have grown old, and my Lord is elderly, shall I give myself to the work of delight? Then the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, How can I, an old woman, actually give birth? Is anything difficult for God? According to the announcement, he will return to you at this same time, with life as a companion, and Sarah will have a son. Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh. For she was terribly afraid. But the Lord said, It is not so, for you did laugh. Therefore, when the men had risen up from there, they directed their eyes against Sodom. And Abraham traveled with them, leading them. And the Lord said, How could I hide what I am about to do from Abraham? Since he will become a great and very robust nation, and in him all the nations of the earth will be blessed. For I know that he will instruct his sons, and his household after him, to keep to the way of the Lord, and to act with judgment and justice, so that, for the sake of Abraham, the Lord may bring about all the things that he has spoken to him. And so the Lord said, The outcry from Sodom and Gomorrah has been multiplied, and their sin has become exceedingly grievous. I will descend and see whether they have fulfilled the work of the outcry that has reached me, or whether it is not so, in order that I may know. And they turned themselves from there, and they went toward Sodom. Yet in truth, Abraham still stood in the sight of the Lord. And as they drew near, he said, Will you destroy the just with the impious? If there were 50 of the just in the city, will they perish with the rest? And will you not spare that place for the sake of 50 of the just, if they were in it? Far be it from you to do this thing, and to kill the just with the impious, and for the just to be treated like the impious. No, this is not like you. You judge all the earth, you would never make such a judgment. And the Lord said to him, If I find in Sodom 50 of the just in the midst of the city, I will release the entire place because of them. And Abraham responded by saying, Since now I have begun, I will speak to my Lord, though I am dust and ashes. What if there were 5 less than 50 of the just? Would you, despite the 45, eliminate the entire city? And he said, I will not eliminate it, if I find 45 there. And again he said to him, But if 40 were found there, what would you do? He said, I will not strike, for the sake of the 40. I ask you, he said, not to be angry, Lord, if I speak. What if 30 were found there? He responded, I will not act, if I find 30 there. Since now I have begun, he said, I will speak to my Lord. What if 20 were found there? He said, I will not put to death, for the sake of the 20. I beg you, he said, not to be angry, Lord, if I speak yet once more. What if 10 were found there? And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of the 10. And the Lord departed, after he had ceased speaking to Abraham, who then returned to his place.